Vice Chair Hinojosa, and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Ben Barkley, and I had the honor of being appointed to the position of Chief Executive and Public Counsel for the Office of Public Utility Counsel. 10 years ago, I was staffing this committee for Senator Colcourse before moving to Senator Betancourt's Committee on Property Tax, and it's an honor to appear before you here today in this new capacity. I have to mention the flu took down most of my office over the last week, and we're all fine now, but my voice is still recovering, so please bear with me. OPUC is a small agency currently with 16 staff members, primarily attorneys and legal assistants. Our mission is to represent residential and small commercial consumers as a class in utility proceedings, ensuring that electric and water utility rates in Texas are just and reasonable. OPUC is the consumer's voice in these proceedings, and the agency serves as an independent watchdog. In 2024 alone, our litigation efforts before the Public Utility Commission resulted in $2.2 billion in savings for Texas consumers. This is a return of investment of $635 for every state dollar invested in the agency. If you want to follow along with my PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to move to page 7. For the upcoming biennium, OPUC is requesting a baseline budget of $6.93 million, which includes 76% or $2.64 million from the General Revenue Fund and 24% or $819,000 from the General Revenue Dedicated Water Resource Fund. Additionally, OPUC is again requesting UB authority, which was granted during the fiscal year 24-25 biennium and is outlined in the baseline budget. Since utility case schedules are unpredictable and often across fiscal years, this budget flexibility allows OPUC to continue to participate in more cases and effectively represent Texas consumers. OPUC is requesting 3 exceptional items totaling $1.74 million. Exceptional item 1 on page 9 of our PowerPoint is requesting to move the public counsel's exempt salary from Group 4 to Group 5 with a $20,000 per year increase. This request is in line with the October 2024 SAO report on executive compensation, ensuring the head of the agency's salary reflects the knowledge and leadership skills required to manage the agency and preventing salary compression at the highest pay levels. Exceptional item 2, as outlined on page 10, is requesting an agency-wide 10% salary adjustment for all funded positions, both filled and vacant, totaling $508,000 for the biennium. As shown on page 11, the agency has faced an average turnover rate of 24.8% over the past 5 years, peaking at 42.9%. We frequently hire and train attorneys in utility law only for them to leave for higher paying positions at other agencies or in the private sector. OPUC salaries have historically lagged other agencies. For example, the table on page 13 shows that attorney 3 and 4 positions at OPUC earn $10,000 less than their counterparts at TCEQ and $21,000 less than their counterparts at PUC. Even an OPUC entry-level 1 attorney earns $13,000 less than their counterpart at PUC. As seen on page 14 of our presentation, we continue to struggle to attract and retain qualified attorneys and professionals with specialized technical experience. OPUC's third request, referenced on page 12, is for an additional $600,000 per fiscal year to contract legal expert witnesses who can testify in complex utility litigation. In early 2023, following a Sunset Advisory Commission directive, OPUC conducted a cost-effectiveness study comparing hiring in-house experts versus contracting outside expert witnesses. The findings shows hiring experts, experienced in-house economists, engineers, and financial analysts is not financially feasible, as salaries in those fields range from $175,000 to $200,000 per year. For example, in an electric base rate case, it's not unusual to hire 4 or more experts: a revenue requirement expert, a class cost allocation expert, a rate design expert, and a return on equity expert. With the volume of electric and water cases OPUC is involved in, it would have to retain multiple experts in each one of these expert categories. Another thing to keep in mind is that expert witness contracts must be fully encumbered up front. Historically, OPUC's budget for these contracts has not covered the full amount needed to secure essential witnesses. To bridge this gap, we have temporarily encumbered funds from other budget lines to ensure we have the necessary witnesses. The additional $600,000 per year would allow OPUC to properly allocate funds, keep budget lines separate, and enhance transparency. I'm happy to expand on this, but in the interest of time, I'm going to stop there, and I welcome your questions, and I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Senator Shortner.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, welcome to your agency, and
thank you.
And members, this is an important agency that represents residential and small commercial, small businesses in a very a big money area, utilities. And as we move forward with building out of infrastructure, it becomes an even more important agency regarding making sure that residential consumers are properly represented at the table. So I appreciate your testimony regarding the how y'all go about representing residential and small consumers. One of your exceptional items is to enhance that, I understand.
Yes, sir. That's actually all three of ours. So for the expert witnesses, the more expert witness costs that we're able to actually use from our expert witness fund, the more that we're able to pay our attorneys. And the more we're able to pay our attorneys, the longer we're able to retain them, the more effective they are at doing their job, the more cases they're able to take on. And so we're going to be able to take on more cases faster, more efficiently, if we get these three budget items.
Right. And your exceptional items total what again? Is that,
Under $2 million.
yeah, under $2 million. That sounds nice. I just hope y'all have enough on the budget to actually properly represent residential consumers and small businesses. I value your agency. I think it's an important counterbalance to large businesses that are in the utility business. And I again thank you. Thank you for your input and what your agency does.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator Schwartner. Senator Betancourt?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Then it seems like just, amazing time, 8 years when you were our general counsel when Senator Perry and I were on a road show about property taxes around the state. I think Senator Cole, of course, can claim a chunk of your past as well. But importantly, to follow Chairman Schwartner's comments, this is a very important agency because you give voice to the residential and small commercial users that have no voice. And this is for rate paying for both electric and water. So what's the one point that you try to help them out with mostly? Because this is a very technically complex area and people need help when they're actually trying to do a complaint. True?
Yes, sir, absolutely. And we represent them as a class when it comes to the actual cases. But we're often having consumers call into us just helping navigate their basic bills. So we navigate them on that front. We try and connect them with whatever resources are available to help them pay their bills. And if they have questions about the process for filing their own intervention in a case, we might be able to assist them with that as well.
Right, in an increasingly complex world, it's one thing because we take a lot of calls on property tax bills that are 9 lines, but to some of the average consumers as well, residential and small commercials, especially, this is a very difficult thing for them to understand. So this agency, as Senator Schwartner, I want to commend you for saying how important this is.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Senator, who's next? Nichols.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. On page 6 of your presentation, you do a good job on showing the number of cases you actually do and your targets and stuff like that. What I don't see, and I would ask you, I'm not asking for it now, but put it together, please, and get it to the different members of the committee. Some type of chart that shows the type of cases you're doing. In other words, of these cases, how many fall in which category, and the number of complaints that y'all get. Because at some point you've got a whole bunch of complaints, and you're trying to decide which ones to do, and that you have a certain limitation there. So, and I know every time you get one call, my electricity bill's too high, doesn't mean you have to put a case together. So some way, but you'll get pockets around the state of people that come in with complaints. I've seen it in my own district. And so try to put some type of presentation together so you can we can all see it and get a feel for the number that you're choosing from.
Yes, sir. We're happy to put that together.
All right, thank you, Madam Chairman.
Senator Colcourse.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Ben, I want to say to everyone listening, or if you're an intern, Ben started in our office as an intern, as a UTSA intern out of San Antonio, and just super excited to have watched you grown through the different positions. I want to echo what Senator Nichols just said in looking at your performance and what Senator Schwartner said of this office and making sure that you have, you and I talked about your turnover rates and things like that so that we can make sure that the public is heard. I think, as I serve on BNC and the complications of this, and how the consumer can be very frustrated and not always get the answers. I just really want to thank my colleagues for recognizing how important this office is as the balance that we desperately need to hear from our constituents. So look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Look forward to it as well.
Thank you. Thank you for the work you're doing. And that's all the questions we have this morning for you.
Thank you.
We'll move on to the Behavioral Health Executive